Hello and welcome to this October 5th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Boley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we're taking a look at INFN Corp, ticker symbol INFN. This is about a $1.1 billion technology company. Looking at the chart, you can see the stock was trading up at about $10 in mid-April and fell almost all the way down to about $5, actually close to $5.50 in the second week of June. So it lost about 45% of its market cap in less than 2 months, and then kind of went sideways. Got a little bit of a bounce off the sell-off and then just simply went sideways and consolidated. But notice here on massive volume toward the in the second half of July, on massive volume it gapped up. This is what we refer to as a breakaway gap, when you have a stock that's actually downtrending, really doesn't look very good technically, and then all of a sudden the volume comes out of nowhere. You get massive volume and a gap up. This probably happened with earnings, although I'm not sure about that, but many times you'll get fundamental news that comes out that kind of shocks the market on a stock, and that's when you get a breakaway type gap. These are very, very bullish type developments anytime you see this. But here we got a big reversal off of the downtrend that was in place. We gapped up. We opened at about $7.90. We ran up to almost $10 in 2 days, and this was having closed at $7. Literally in 2 days we're up to almost $10, which was probably about a 40% increase in just those 2 days. Notice though, over the next few weeks we ended up coming all the way back down and testing this opening price. That's one of the characteristics of a breakaway gap, is with a common gap you would expect prices to go all the way back down to where it was before the gap up, which would have been $7 in this case. But with a breakaway gap and also a continuation gap, those types of gaps tend to only see prices go back to where they started after that initial gap up. So in this case, we went straight up for a couple of days. It took us about 4 weeks, but we went all the way back down. We tested this gap support area, and then it has been straight up since. And look at the volume coming in on this push to the upside. So INFN has been a very, very bullish stock to the upside, and just recently here over the last couple of weeks, off of very, very overbought conditions, we've seen INFN pull back, and on Monday printed a doji off of this downtrend, which is a reversing candle, and it came right at the 20-day moving average. This would be an area that I would be looking for some support out of INFN after this straight up move. The MACD was looking great. Normally you get a pullback, you test the 20-day, and on the first test of the 20-day generally you will bounce back up. So I'd be looking for the stock to get back up close to this 1280, 1290 area, which was the recent high about a week and a half ago. That would be my target to the upside. To the downside, a close below the 20-day wouldn't be great, especially if volume's big, but you especially don't want to take out that tail on the hammer or on the doji. Want to make sure that we hold that intraday support there. The overbought conditions that I was talking about, you can see down here we had an RSI reading which was up in the mid-80s, stochastics which had been in the 90s for about 3 weeks. So very, very overbought conditions as the stock just had a straight up move. I do think though in the near term this 20-day moving average can offer some support. I'd look for INFN to bounce off this level again, maybe getting back up. First area of resistance, major resistance, is probably going to be up at about 12.25, but I think it can make it all the way back up to the 1280, 1290 area based on the accumulation that seems to be taking place and the volume that's seen here. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at InvestedCentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.